Good morning and welcome back to the adventures of Mac and Anthea, and what I suppose is going to be part 2, an attempt to conquer the summit of Tetica. So I'll say there's 2 parts to this video. I'll put a link in somewhere up here if you want to watch the first part first, and what I'll also do is put a link in at the end of this video so you can watch it afterwards if you want. It doesn't really matter which order you watch it in, because they're 2 completely different attempts, 2 completely different routes, so basically 2 completely different videos, you know, but basically on the same topic. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to get underway, and there's some beautiful scenery around here to be seen, as you can probably see in the background there. You'll be able to have a good look at that, and as we go along I'll fill you in on what's actually going on and why we're doing this attempt. Okay, so we're on the start of the trail. We've just turned off the main road that goes round the back of a village called Sierra being our starting point today on this trail. Now last time, if you recall, if you watched it, if you didn't, we started a little village called Pachena. We were already cheating a little bit because we didn't start from home. Went down to Pachena, which is around 555 metres above sea level, and we started off there trying to give a bit of a head start, and that was going to be climbing up to 2,088 metres, which is a peak of Tetica, and was going to be 30 kilometres. Well, if you watched that video, you saw that was an epic fail. We only made it about 16 kilometres, so not even close. Today we're a lot closer and we're a little bit higher. We're gone from Sierra, and what we're doing is we're starting from 775 metres above sea level. It's getting a bit rough here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to climb up the full length, and it's only 16 kilometres this route, so there's a chance we could do it. Anyway, we've got a rock fall here. We're not sure any idea of the trail, so we're going to get off and have a little push. Hopefully we ain't got too much of this, otherwise it's going to be a long day. Okay, so that's not a good start. We've got to the end of the trail, only a little way down there, and we've started to come to this. Just sort of going up round here, and obviously not any sort of cycle trail. We've set it on sort of walking to try and fool it, but yeah, this is just a bit too much. We was expecting to be sort of a trail you could drive along like there was on the last time. So I don't know if we are on the right trail and it's just for walking, or whether we've taken a wrong turn. Either way, we're not going to get this way on bicycles. It's going to be too much. So I think we're going to go back down to the road we just turned off of and see if we can pick something up from there, because we've also lost sat nav as well, so we really don't know what we're doing at all. Okay, so we'll retrace and try and find another route. Okay, we've just gone up to the next bend, sort of 20 metres, no more than that, and then it's told us to turn right, and we're sort of running above that little manky trail we've just been along. Probably see it below, just down there, maybe. I'll try and show you again in a minute. So yeah, wrong route. That was nearly a very, very short video there, but now we're okay. The trail looked lovely actually, which I did see. I could see it going up into the mountains now. It'd be a beautiful hiking route, but it wasn't going to be much fun on a bicycle. Okay, so yeah, it's saying we've got 2 kilometres before we change direction. Looks like we're back on track. Yeah, down below there was a trail. Okay, let's press on. So our speed is whizzing off ahead there. This is the first real bike ride for Anthea in a while. She's not really meant to be riding a bicycle. She's got a fractured coccyx. Doctors told her not to go on a bicycle, but she popped into the hospital because we were there anyway the other day with her paperwork. She says, "Come on, when's this appointment coming for my coccyx?" They had no record of it. She says, "No problem, I've got the paperwork here." My local doctor, they says, "Oh, that's not valid." She says, "No problem with me, make me another appointment." You can't, you've got to go back to your doctor. So yeah, she's not going to miss out on any bike rides. She's going to brave on with it and worry about the pain tomorrow, I suppose. Okay, well, it's climb, same theme as last time. So we're coming along here. That route is the route I was trying to find at the end of the last bike ride to come back down into Sierra so we could see a different sort of scenery, but we couldn't be sure. And those aerials at the top there, I'll see if I can find some B-roll, was where we came up to the other side before from the other route, which is the other side of that mountain there. So yeah, give you some sort of idea, some sort of perspective of how far over we were. Stunning scenery already, and we're getting really high. Okay, so we've got a nice viewpoint here on the bend. We're looking down on the village of Sierra, I'll try and zoom in on the castle over there, which I'm ashamed to say I've never visited in the 21 years I've lived here. So yeah, that's got to be something that's got to be on the cards for sure. Okay, just about seeing the distance there, also the road that we actually came in on. Okay, so I've just been past a trail marker. That's assuming, you know, it's the trail marker for the trail we want to be on. Also noticing these bits of tape here hanging from the trees. Just there, you can normally they mean that there's been an organised ride or walk, and they've been put there.
200 metres, slide left.
Okay, Mr. Satnav's just woken up. We need to slide left in 200 metres. So yeah, we are on the right trail. Okay, right there, and I think this is it. And we're over onto gravel. So we're on the right trail, because that's just giving us a signpost back to the village. No, it's saying wrong. Yeah, wrong there, turn around, I've just got dunk from Mrs. Satnav. So yeah, a bit too early. That was, yeah, 3.6 back to the village. We definitely don't want to be going back to the village. So, back onto asphalt for a bit longer. So easy to get lost up here. Yeah, we've carried along up this asphalt road. I think the Satnav is having one of its moments. I think, like we said before, you know, I don't think Google Maps is really designed for these sort of cross-country trails and that. More, you know, for well-recognised roads. But we're feeling like we're in the right general direction, even though we haven't even got sight of Tetica at the minute. But yeah, this feels right. We're climbing and we're going in the right general direction. So we're going to stick with this, and hopefully Mrs. Satnav will manage to get with the programme somewhere along the way. Just been commenting along here. One of the good things for the rain, of course, that we needed it anyway. But also, look how beautiful these spring flowers are this year. What a mix. We've had this all over, and we've never seen it before. Yeah, look at them, absolutely stunning. Yeah, so we needed the rain, and this has been a bonus. And I don't even think I've ever seen the landscape, you know, you can see in the distance there, looks pretty green. I don't think I've ever seen it this green. A little bit different to the last track. The last trail was constant climb. I was in second gear and on pedal assist 4 all the way up, all the time. It was just constant climb. We're getting some level bits here, so I'm able to sort of save a little bit more battery and click up and down. Of course, one of the worst things about filming a trail for the viewers is, you know, you're always saying, oh, it's really steep, it's really steep. But of course, you get no idea on the video how steep it is. It just looks pretty much flat, which I can assure you it certainly isn't. Most of these are pretty steep inclines, and there's very little under sort of a 30% gradient. Okay, so there's a big difference. We've got a little bit of a, yeah, straight on I think. We've got a little bit of a roll down there. These are the little bits you've got to be mindful of. These little dips can catch you out on the way back when you're on low battery power. But as long as they're not too long, you know, and we find it too hard, we can just get off and walk for that little bit. But yeah, and going down into deep valleys and out the other side, things you've got to be really careful of, otherwise you can end up, you know, right in the middle of nowhere, 10-15 kilometres away from any sort of civilization, and reaching the point of exhaustion and running out of water we've had in the past as well. So yeah, you got to respect these places. There's been quite a few deaths. People, you know, thinking, oh yeah, I'll take the shortcut across there or whatever. And yeah, been some quite, you know, stupid, unnecessary deaths out here in Spain with people from Northern Europe, you know, who just don't understand the terrain and the climate, especially when it starts to get really hot in the summer. Okay, so as Anthony's just pointed out, there's Tetica just up there. I'll try and zoom it in editing. Yeah, just peeking up over the top of there with this sort of rocky ridge along here. And I think it's just sort of up around here. Okay, so we're en route, but it's still looking pretty daunting and pretty high ahead of us there. So let's press on and see how we go. The sign up here again, 30 kilometres an hour. Noticed a real overuse of signage here in Spain lately. When Anthea refers to our village as Legoland, there's so many signs. There's like stop signs being put up at the end of people's drives to telling you they need to stop and look. I mean, let's face it, if you don't know that, you've really got no business being behind the car wheel, you know. And again, you know, a sign saying 30 kilometres an hour. I mean, again, that's obvious on these roads. And the sort of people, you know, who are going to be going faster than 30 kilometres an hour on these roads are the type of people who aren't going to pay any attention to that speed limit sign whatsoever. So yeah, it just makes the countryside look ugly. It's beautiful out here, it's beautiful mountains, scenery, trees, flowers, and then you've got these ugly signs plonked everywhere else in sort of situations where nobody really goes, so it's completely unnecessary. It just feels like they're using up grant money for something or other. Anyway, that's whinge out the way. Tetica up there again, we're getting closer. Old Speedy's gone ahead, her gearing slightly different on her bike, and obviously she's a bit lighter, not carrying the weight I am. Okay, we've got another little downhill again. It's not quite as steep as the last trail up to now anyway, but there's no escaping the fact that we've still got a hell of a climb to do, all by the 200 metres difference from the start point of the last attempt. So yeah, there's no escaping that. At some point we're going to have some serious climb to do, I think. Okay, I'm just going to mention this one more time and then I'm going to stop whinging. But this is a classic example. Look at this, that sign you can see the back of there is a stop sign. I mean, do you really need that there telling you to stop and give way to this road? That's if there's actually anybody driving along it, you know. Absolutely ridiculous. If anyone's watching this from the Hunter down to here, please stop. Too much. Okay, I've just stopped on the bend here again. There's no way of me showing you with my finger, but there's a trail dead opposite there on the other side of the valley. I feel sort of 80% sure that was a trail we went up last time. And down there, that zigzaggy trail that's going down into the gully, I think that's the one that we should have gone down to get across this valley and onto this road to get up to the peak. So damn glad I didn't go down that. Could just imagine going back the other way with no battery. I suppose we could have come down this way, but I didn't know about it. Going down that gully then, having to climb out of there with no battery power left after doing all that ride up to the top. Plus the weather changed as well. So yeah, I'm really glad that I made the right decision there. Okay, so Anthony's just waited for me, let me catch up. Anthony seems to estimate by odometer on hers that we've done 7 kilometres, so nearly halfway. My battery's just gone down 1 bar, I think, down to 4 bars from 5. So it's looking good. I don't want to say too much, but yeah, it's looking good at the minute for us probably making it to the top, but who knows. For those of you new to the channel, just give you a quick rundown on what the rigs we're running. We're running Barfang mid-drive 750 watt motors with 13 amp hour batteries. Now we've found with this setup, as long as you know you're using it as an e-bike and you conserve battery as much as you can, mixed heavy mountainous terrain will give you around 35 kilometres. That's assuming you're going up a hill and then going back down the other side. Now I learned something new on the last trail. If you're continuously going uphill with no break and no downhills, you're only getting about half of that. I did about 15 kilometres and I probably had 1 bar left, probably would have got another 3 or 4 kilometres out of it before it went flat. So yeah, we learned something new, but it's a good gauge for if you're doing, you know, trying to pick a system for an e-bike. Also worthy of note, and we know from personal experience, it's all well and good, you know, and I don't want to get into the laws of this here or in the comments, thank you guys, but anything less than 750 watt on this sort of terrain and it won't work. We've previously had a hub drive 250 watts, that was good up to about 6% gradient. I mean, we'll get at the end of the drive with that. And then we upgraded that one to 500 hub drive, and that, yeah, went up to 12%, no great surprise there. And it made the rear end of the bike heavy. The mid-drive motors are by far the best system for mountainous terrain. Firstly, because you've got, you know, like a low centre of gravity in the centre of the frame. You haven't got extra weight on one of the wheels, you know, dragging you around. So it's better for, you know, better for stability, especially on loose gravel. And of course, then you've got all the gears to use. You can put it in a really high, you know, really low gear, really big cog to conserve battery. So you've got, yeah, you can conserve a lot more battery and go a lot further. I mean, we've still got to find out actually how far you can go on a 13 amp hour battery, you know, on sort of normal terrain. I'll tell you now for a fact, it's more than 60 kilometres. We've found for sure, and we've done sort of 60 kilometres and then still have sort of 3 bars left. Anyway, enough chit chat. Let's carry on, and I'll bring you back in when we've got something interesting to see. Okay, this bit here looks suspiciously like how we would have come up out the valley there. You see it there, and just going off around the corner there a bit as well. I wonder if that's the route which we would have come across. We'll find out one day, because we'll have to do it, because these are all interesting trails. Okay, and we are close this time. Look at that. That's just suddenly come up on us. Yeah, trees in the way now. Hang on. There. Well, as Anthea just pointed out, black rain clouds. I remember mentioning it before in the last video. It's all well and good what's on the web forecast, but once you get up into these mountains and all these little microclimates surrounding these valleys, you don't take much notice of the weather, and it will often rain. But we're up here without Max. We've bought the fleece just to be safe, purely because last time it was a high of 13 degrees. Today it's a high of 21 degrees, so we really shouldn't need any extra clothing. But you never know, like I say. A few more buildings, little drive to one down here. Truly are right out in the middle of nowhere, they are. I mean, they were good 8 kilometres away from any village or any shops or anything. Yeah, lovely. Well, that's a bit of a steep one all of a sudden. And this really is quite a good slope down this time, so we've really got to be mindful of this on the way back. Another big house there, don't know if we're going to catch it in time. Just down there in the trees. Yeah, don't want too many of those, we've just come down on the way back. Yeah, as Anthony's just said, that's the biggest one so far. Okay, well, the weather coming through there. We've got some black clouds up ahead, and we've just got a cold gust come straight through. Let's hope we're not going to get defeated by the weather. So, another viewpoint here. Just stopped. We've sort of come round from sort of the left here, so ignore those trails you can see in the bottom there. What you see in the distance there is the hills, and I'm not sure what villages they are opposite. One of them may be our village. And one might be the next village along, but anyway, what you see on the opposite side there is the opposite side to the Almanthora Valley. This actually isn't the Almanthora Valley, this is just a little valley which actually turns down into a steep gully which goes down and joins the Almanthora Valley. And Sierra, where we started out at, that village is actually perched on the edge of that deep cut gully, as you probably saw. I'll probably try and take a bit more footage of that on the way back. But anyway, pan round. And look what we got there. Now that is feeling close. So Anthony's disappeared. She's going ahead to try and recce out a little picnic spot. So let's get moving and try and catch her up. And hope this weather doesn't turn. So Anthony has stopped. It's a nice little rocky area. We may see if there's a flat area we can stop and have our picnic. Is there anything there we could stop on? What's in here? Is there a flat area around there anywhere? I think we should go in there. Yeah, it looks like it's a trail here. Let's have a little wander in here, see what's what. Okay, so this looks half decent. Too far into it. There's thorns in here. Yeah, I think we'll park here and then we can wander in a bit further. Okay, so that's a quick sandwich. Hopefully you can see Tetica up there in the background. Lovely little spot just here, amongst these rocks. Bicycles are just down there below, so I've just had a quick look on Google Maps. We've got about another 7.6 kilometres it reckons, and I've just dropped down to my third bar, so it's not looking bad on the battery, but obviously it all depends how steep it's going to be. So yeah, chairs away, glad of them today. And then we're going to get on our way because it's starting to get chilly, and you can probably see our fleeces have gone on. Okay, we're moving again. My battery after that little rest has just put back up to 4 bars again. Don't think it's going to be there for long, but it's looking good. Okay, and we're just going up and we're starting to come around the other side and look down the other side and up in the opposite direction of the valley. Oh, a lovely wooded area here. Now we're really starting to get high now. We're just passing through this beautiful little wooded area here. And I'm starting to notice that the little houses that I can see below from our house that look tiny little dots high up on the mountain, and they're starting to look like tiny little dots lower than us, you know, lower down the mountain. Yeah, we've got a good climb on here, but still quite steep on that last bit, and we're gonna have to wind round and round to get up there. But out slightly, I don't see Anthony there in the distance. Yeah, it's really very pretty, this little bit here. Nice sort of flat plateau with beautiful pine trees. Mr. Satnav's just piped up and said turn right. which in reality is just follow the main trail, although that was quite a defined trail as well. Yeah, we're up here. Still 3 bars. Okay, so we're still winding up through this woodland, back and forth, snaking through this tiny little wooded area. And I've just dropped down to 2 bars, so I would really like to be close to this area before we drop down to 1, just to give us that little bit on the way back. Well, I don't know, but it's starting to look like we're finally coming out of this woodland. It's starting to get really trippy. We're going snaking backs and forwards, up through the pine forest, and it was like never ending. You know, every section of track looked very much like the last one. But yeah, it looks like we're finally coming out of the other end here now. Track, as you can probably make out, is pretty rough fast, so we're going to have to carefully pick our way through it. 2 bars still. I've slowed down a bit and dropped down the power assist down to 3 to try and sort of conserve battery a bit, but I can see some steep sections coming up ahead. Okay, so there we're really high up now. Let's try and zoom a little bit of the valley up in for you if I can. There we go. Yeah, we're really high and you can see the mountains in the distance in every direction. Can't see the sea, it's not clear enough today. The only thing I just have to mention, Tanfia, is the last bit going up to the aerials is asphalt again. So we'll get off this. This is really rough arse, this trail in places, we have to pick our way through it. But yeah, that will be the good thing about it. We can have the last bit on asphalt. It'll not use so much battery because you know, got so much drag on the tyres. That's my theory anyway. I'm just trying to convince myself here. Okay, it's official. Just after that stop we've just done, we've just dropped to 1 bar. So yeah, we're just going to keep going at this stage and see how far that'll take us. Okay, and as suspected, Mrs. Google has just piped up and said in 200 metres we're arriving at the destination. You see it through the trees up there. There's the aerial, so it quite obviously isn't the case. So I'm hoping at 200 metres we're going to join the asphalt road, and I'm hoping this little bit of battery is going to get us at least some way up it. We'll have to wait and see. Really starting to puff now. I don't know, can it be altitude? 200 metres above sea level, does that affect your breathing? And I don't know. Okay, and she's just parked up again a few metres back there. You have arrived. Well, it's not looking that way from where I'm sitting. So yeah, I don't know where it is. I'm looking for asphalt or at least concrete road. A little bit of a downward slope here. Can't help feeling that we're actually running parallel to the road going up to the aerials now. So I think it's going to take us along here a while, and then we'll join it sort of nearer the start of where it's at the main road, which is a shame. No doubt there was a little track. Actually, I can see it above now. Just about to see the barriers up above there now. So there it is. That's the one we want. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, and here we are. I think it might be a time for just a little bum break. And we'll see how far we get up here with the battery. Not that steep at the minute, you mean? Ooh. Okay, should we have a little break in this bit and then go for it, or do you want to just keep going? Okay, boss says keep going, so let's keep going. Yeah, it is getting chilly. Okay, that's how far this last bar is going to take us. We'll just take it really slow and steady. Hopefully the asphalt's going to reduce drag on the tyres. We might get a bit more out of the batteries. Okay, and we've just come through. We get a true idea of what we've got ahead of us. And you can actually, now you can make it out on the camera, you're there, but it's zigzagging up there. And I've got to say, even at this late stage, it's not looking good. Okay, so we've just had a stop. We're not far off. I think you can just about see it up there in the background. We're getting really low on battery, or I am anyway. So what we've done, this is the plan. Anthea's really starting to tire now. It's hitting at the altitude as well. So she's going to stop and have a rest here with her chair, and we switched batteries. Just as we came up to the asphalt section, Anthea dropped down a little way before then, down to 1 bar, whereas I've been on 1 bar for a little while. So we switched batteries, and hopefully that full 1 bar will be enough to get me, say, up the top there. I've tried to get some sense out of Mrs. Google, but she's saying, yeah, you're only 350 metres away, just do a straight line across and it'll take you 1 minute. Yeah, she seems to be totally oblivious to the fact that there's actually an asphalt road here. So I'm estimating we've probably got 800 metres max up this road. So let's go get on with that and see how we get on. Okay, so here we go. Keep your fingers crossed for me, guys. That's hopefully we're going to make it and we're not get defeated at this very last moment here. We just had about 2 or 3 motorcycles go up, venture bikes, nice bikes, but they saw us. I just hope they think on the way back down and don't come flying back down like they often do, as if it's a one-way and clean me up. Okay, so we're coming up and looking down the other side again now. So let's see if we can get you a view of that. Yeah, sunny over there. It's really starting to get quite chilly up here, and it's starting to look a bit rainy as well. So Anthea mentioned there, fingers crossed it doesn't rain. Oh, it's certainly making me work for it. This last section is steep. Again, you won't be able to tell on the camera at all. But yeah, take my word for it, this is steep. Whoa. Okay, so we've come up to the bend here. I'm going to stop in this bend because I think I can hear those motorcycles on the way back down. Give them the best chance I can of them seeing me. And there they come. Whoa. First there's about 3 or 4 of them, I think. Nice adventure bikes there. Okay, so moving again. Pedal assist 2, take it steady, conserve his battery as much as we can. And still going up and up, it's just got steeper again even still. We're getting on for a 40% gradient here now, in this bit here, but we are close. Okay, we're going to push our luck, it's just got this really steep bit. It looks like we've got the final push, just got up to pedal assist 4 once again. We'll risk the battery, so we just get up this last bit. Oh. And we thought we were there, but no, we've got the last little concrete bit. Come on battery, you can do this last little bit because it's going to be a number 4 pedal assist again. Go on then. Seriously steep, I'm struggling to keep the front wheel down on the ground. If I press down the pedals too hard, to give it that little bit of extra help from me, it's lifting the front end off the ground. So yeah, give you some sort of idea. Whoa, God, dizzy heights, Christ. Oh my God. If you're watching this, Mike, this is not a Mike trail. No way. And there it is. Ta-da. Whew. Okay, and here we are, Chula high up. I'll give you a quick look around, but I'm not going to send the drone up. It's pretty windy up here. The aerials may interfere with it, and of course Anthea's waiting down below, and with her sat around, she's probably getting pretty cold. So a quick nosy around here, and then we'll get on our way back down. Oh, get higher still. I didn't know this was here. Oh wow. We've got the telescope. I actually remember seeing this now on the photos. I don't know if it's working. No, gotta put money in. Of course you have. Oh, so a gentle pan round. Wow, I can just about make the sea out in the distance. It's sort of in the mist over in that direction. As far as you can see, just see a very light blue. You know, shining through, but you're not going to get. It's not going to pick it up on the camera, unfortunately. Oh, look. Well, that's service for you. Look, toilet and shower. Yeah. So we just parked up below there. Got quite a bit of wind up here, as you'd expect. I don't know if you're going to make it out of the cameras. I mentioned the other day when I tried to come up the other route, the windmills at the more or less at the mouth of the Amanthora Valley near the open plains of Baffa. They're just over there. So I think what we're going to do is we'll make our way back down, go and pick up Anthea. Of course, we'll stick Neo on and let him chase us down. That's always good for a laugh, and he can chase us back down to where we left Anthea. So we're flying down here. I'm keeping the speed down to about 30 kilometres an hour so Neo can keep up. I can hear him struggling back there in the wind. The wind keeps on buffeting him I thought he got blown out the sky the other day, but he may have just run out of battery and dropped out the sky when we came down the other day, because this wind is considerably harder, these gusts, and he seems to be coping with it quite well. Okay, and I think we're nearly where Anfiera is sat. She'll be glad to see me, I think, because no doubt she's starting to shiver a bit there. Once you stop, she's got a sweatshirt on, but yeah, once you stop, you sat around waiting, you'll be getting pretty chilly. Where is she? Hello? Ah, there she is. Oh, well done, Neo. Okay, so someone's got them down. She's starting to worry a little bit because, yeah, I've been gone a little while there, and she's shivering away here. She's a bit cold.
Chilly.
Yeah, so we'll get back on the road and you know, retrace our steps and go back down. We won't film too much of it because obviously it's boring watching it in reverse. If there's any good bits in the opposite direction that we didn't see on the way up, I'll give you, I'll bring you back in and we'll film that. If we get time and we feel like it, we may go and look at the castle back at Sierra. You'll have to wait and see. People having a nice family gathering down there below. Table on the veranda. I think it's Mother's Day here in Spain, actually. Okay, so there's the castle over there. Don't think we're going to get up to that today. We've had enough. We're ready to get back and have something to eat. But certainly maybe a video for another day. So that brings us to the end of the video. We're back home. I'm quite happy with what we've achieved today, getting up to the top of Tetica. I know we cheated a little bit, got a little bit closer and a little bit higher, but hey, I'm still going to take that as a win. So I think all that remains is to thank you for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.